So the question I have for you is, what is your own agenda? Why are you in that field? Why are you into photography? Why are you into videography? Why are you into catering? Why are you into entertainment? Why are you into education, right? Why are you into the IT industry? Why are you into economics? Why are you in the banking sector? Why? Your agenda must be clear. You see, because if you don't have an agenda, you will be swept away by every latest fad in the marketplace. It's a mistake for you to go into the marketplace and not have an agenda. There must be something you are driving towards. There must be a goal. There must be something that you want to achieve 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. What's going to be the outcome of your life as a result of the things you are doing today? So we started a discourse last week, Monday, on the 8 mistakes you should avoid in the marketplace. And today we're going to be going deeper. There are a couple of things I wanted to mention last week, but because of time, right, I couldn't go into that. But today I'm going to be talking about some of those things. So we said that there are mistakes that you should avoid in the marketplace, that every mistake is not equal in impact and effect. You know, when you look at a cyclist, you look at a driver, and you look at a pilot. A cyclist can have an accident if he's not paying attention to what he's doing. If a driver does not keep his eyes on the road, he can have an accident, or he could have an accident. But you see, a pilot who is also not conscious of what he's doing, or who is not competent of flying an aircraft, can also have an accident. Now, these 3 guys may have or could have an accident, but guess what? The impact and the effect of their accidents are going to be different. And that's why we've established that mistakes are not equal in impact and in effect. You see, so we said that some of the mistakes we need to avoid. The very first 2 I spoke about last week is that number 1 mistake you should avoid in the marketplace is creating a separation, right, between your walk and your walk of faith, or your walk with God, as it were. So how do people create that separation? That's one thing I want to start out talking about today. How do people create a separation? Because oftentimes it is something that creeps in on us. It is something people are even oblivious of. Most people don't even know when they begin to create a separation, right, between their walk and their walk of faith. So how do we do that? How are you so sure you have not even been doing that? The number 1 way people create that separation, right, is not talking to God about decisions they want to make in the marketplace. Have you ever, gotten to a place or tried to make an investment or get involved in an investment opportunity, and a lot of people have told you, you see, the trending investment is this now, you can get 1,000% profit within 24 hours. It looks so juicy. And some of your friends have already done it, and you could see, right, that, yeah, they got their money back. But you see, because of what you heard, you didn't talk to God about it. You didn't introspect. You didn't ask, you didn't inquire from within. I've been in that situation before. I have a friend who was involved in a particular investment, vehicle. You see, he made a lot of money. I could see the things he did with his money. So I remember talking to my wife. That was many years ago. I spoke with my wife. I said, you see, our friend did this and made his money, and we could see what the guy actually, how much he made, because he was open with us. So we put our own savings, as at that time, we put everything in that particular investment. And guess what? We had crickets. We got nothing back. We lost the money. Of course, if you lose the money, you won't get any profit. So we lost everything. But guess what? It worked for our friend. Now, I said that to say this. The fact that something worked for others in the marketplace is no guarantee it will work for you. And that's the mistake many people make. And you see, you need to avoid that. And you will not fall into that mistake, right, if you don't create a separation between your marketplace engagement and your walk with God. You see, God is nearer than you think. God is more willing to speak to you than you and I are aware of. Right, so why don't you talk to him before you make that decision, before you pick up that job? The job may look so nice in the immediate. It might even be a better paying job, right, than other seemingly small paying jobs. But guess what? That job that seems to be so small can be the job that will blow you up in the marketplace, blow up your career. Another way people create that separation is not wanting the people they know or work with to know that they are people of faith. right? Not what, for instance, if you're a believer, if you're a Christian, right? You don't want people to know in the marketplace, you don't want people to know in your workplace, you don't want your clients to know that you are a Christian. Now, that's a big mistake. You see, when people don't know where you stand, they are going to bring different things your way. If people already know you are a person of integrity, if they know you are a person of faith, if you know you are someone that would never falsify figures, guess what? They won't even bring it your way. But if your stand is not known, if your faith walk is not that obvious, if people are unaware of what you believe, they will bring different things your path, and it creates an opportunity for temptation. So the second mistake that we have said that people make in the marketplace is not taking their work seriously. You know, the scripture actually says that if someone does not work, he should not eat. Sometimes when people don't have jobs and they are not willing to look for jobs, we think it is a sign of kindness and goodness to take care of them, but it is not. It's actually a sign of wickedness, because the admonition of scriptures is that if a man does not want to work, that same man should not eat. It deserves to be hungry and naked. Probably that hunger will reset his mindset and resets his thinking to make him engage, right, in productive labor. So number one mistake is creating a difference between your work and your walk with God. Number two is not taking your work seriously. And number three is not having a marketplace agenda. Not having a marketplace agenda. Why are you in the marketplace? Why are you in that field? Why are you in that industry? You say why you do what you do would always be more important than what you're doing. Nobody succeeds or thrives in the marketplace without having a specific agenda. If you see anybody doing well in the marketplace, going, you see, from one level of success to the other, it is because such individuals, they have an agenda. They might not reveal to you the agenda, but let me tell you this, they have an agenda. Bollywood has an agenda. Hollywood has an agenda. You see, they are trying to sell a lifestyle to you. They are trying to make you believe in a particular way of existence. Nollywood also has an agenda. And I strongly believe that one of the agenda of Nollywood is to make you aware and conscious of the activities of the demonic realm. You see, probably things are beginning to change, but back then, years ago, I'm talking about 5-10 years ago, it's almost impossible for you to watch an average Nollywood movie without seeing someone going to an herbalist or going to someone who's going to consult the oracle or something. It is an agenda. They are making you conscious of the fact that the world in which you live in is a wicked world. So the question I have for you is, what is your own agenda? Why are you in that field? Why are you into photography? Why are you into videography? Why are you into catering? Why are you into entertainment? Why are you into education? Right? Why are you into the IT industry? Why are you into economics? Why are you in the banking sector? Why? Your agenda must be clear. You see, because if you don't have an agenda, you will be swept away by every latest fad in the marketplace. So it's a mistake for you to go into the marketplace and not have an agenda. There must be something you are driving towards. There must be a goal. There must be something that you want to achieve. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, what's going to be the outcome of your life as a result of the things you are doing today? You see, where you are going, right, should determine the steps you are taking today. But you see, if you don't have an agenda, all you will ever produce is a life of survival. You will just be moving, you know, living from hand to mouth, probably have a nice car, build a good house, you know, be comfortable. That is all you will ever achieve without an agenda. So the question I have for you today is, what is your marketplace agenda? The fourth mistake you need to avoid in the marketplace is ignoring the handwritings on the wall. Ignoring the handwritings on the wall. What do I mean by that? There are always handwritings on the wall in every industry. In every field of play, there are always handwritings. What do I mean by handwritings? Things that are beginning to happen, but that most people are oblivious of. I had a story many years ago about a Jewish rabbi, a monk, right, and a Pentecostal preacher. And the story is told that there was a prophecy, a very valid prophecy, that a flood was coming that was going to wipe away, you see, every living thing on the earth. And what the Pentecostal preacher did is he went into, you know, his church, and he began to tell his parishioners, you see, we have been told that a flood is coming. Let's begin to bind the spirit of the flood. Every spirit causing a flood to come, we bind it. That was what the Pentecostal preacher did, according to that story, right? They said the monk called his followers and said, you see, let's begin to meditate. Let's enter into the zone of receptivity. Let's become one with nature and all the likes. But the Jewish rabbi was the one who had the right approach. He called all the Jews into the synagogue and he said, you see what? We have been told that a flood is coming in 7 days. So what that simply means is that we have 7 days to learn how to survive underwater. Very instructive. Very, very instructive. Many people's approach will be like that of the monk and like that of the Pentecostal preacher. Just hoping and wishing that that which they have seen is imminent, is not going to happen. But you see, the Jewish rabbi said, this thing is going to happen. Change is coming. What we need to do is not to pray against change. What we need to do is not to attack the change. What we need to do is to embrace this change and create in place, put in place structures that will enable us, right, to survive in spite of the imminent change. You need to understand that change would always happen. Change will always take place in your field, in your industry. Things are going to change. The question is, are you prepared for the change that is going to happen in your industry? Or are you ignoring the handwritings on the wall? Are you ignoring the things that you can already see happening in the world today? In the world of IT, in the world of education. You see, the advent or the emergence, as it were, of the COVID-19 changed the way the world of economics operates. And whether you are aware of it or not, a lot of things are still going to change in the coming years. The question is, are you prepared for the change that is coming? Are you prepared for how it's going to affect your industry? It might even make you lose your job. Have you ever thought about that? There is no point praying against it. The question is, if you were to lose your job, are you prepared? Do you need to go into a different industry, into a different sector entirely? Have you ever thought about that? So don't ignore the handwritings on the wall. Many people have made this mistake and they have paid dearly for it. I remember many years ago, taxi drivers, right, made a lot of money in Lagos, Nigeria, where I live. You know, yellow cabs, anywhere you want to go to, you just get yellow cabs to take you to wherever you're going. But you see, these guys did not see the handwriting on the wall. Unfortunately, Uber came, Taxify came, and took away their shirts, figuratively now. You see, because they did not notice the handwriting on the wall. What many try to do is to come together as a union and fight against these companies. But you see, it was too late because they ignored the handwriting on the wall. Some of the changes you need to pay attention to in any industry you may find yourself is your clients change. Your clients are changing. The question is, are you changing with your clients? Number two is there is a medium change. You might be doing the same thing, offering the same thing, but the medium might be different. Years ago, before you could get across something to people, right, in a mass dimension, you needed to go on TV. But right now, you're watching this on YouTube. You are watching this on a different channel, not on traditional media. That's a medium change. Achieving the same thing, but with a different medium. Are you paying attention to the medium change in your industry? Are you paying attention to the client change? These are some of the things you need to look out for. The fifth mistake you need to avoid in the marketplace is doing what everyone is doing. I see a lot of people doing this. Oh, it's pure water that's selling now. Let's all sell pure water. It's photography that is selling now. Let us all be a photographer. You see, it's makeup that is selling now. Let's all become a makeup artist. It's traditional wedding comparing that is selling now. Let's all become a traditional wedding compare. It's been a comedian that is selling now. Let's all be a comedian. I've seen people make this mistake year in and year out. But haven't you observed that the people who are the most successful in any industry, in any field of play, and financially, are the people that stick to one industry, stick to one thing and stay with it for the long haul? Haven't you noticed that? Haven't you just noticed that? Haven't you noticed that? You should have. So it's a big mistake to do something because it is selling in the immediate. You see, the fact that it is selling now is no proof it will sell 5 years from now. So what happens when it stops selling? Are you going to jump into another sector? And you're going to keep doing that. Before you know it, time is going. Before you know it, you're going to be 40, you're going to be 50, you're going to be 60. And if you live your life upping from one field to the other, having a grasshopper's mentality, what's going to happen is you will get old one day and you will realize that you have never built anything solid with your life. right? So the fifth mistake you need to avoid is doing what everyone is doing. The fact that everyone is doing it, the fact that everyone is into crypto, the fact that everyone is into real estate, the fact that everyone is going into agriculture doesn't mean you should abandon what you're doing and jump into those industries. The question is, what is that thing that stirs up your spirit? What is that thing you are passionate about? What is that thing you have been doing and is already producing a measure or a dimension of success? Don't just abandon that thing and join, you see, an industry or a particular sector that seems to be successful in the immediate. Stay with what you're doing. Stay with what you're doing. Give it your best. Don't quit on the eve of your coronation. My prayer for you today is that everything you lay your hands upon this week will prosper and do well in the name of Jesus. God bless you. We'll continue next week, Monday. Bye for now.